round one of the Champions Cup and some big teams already scrambling to qualify. My name is Mark. Let's talk rugby. Okay, so round one, Champions Cup. As I said, some very significant results this weekend. And, there are a couple of teams who really will have to perform out of their skins to actually qualify from the pools now. So we're going to have a look at the results from the weekend, and then we'll have a look at the pools. So we won't get too much into each of the games. So starting with the Friday games. So first up, Sale Sharks 21, Glasgow Warriors 26. Glasgow doing so well. It was a bit of a back and forth in that game. Glasgow coming out on top. So going away, opening game of the Champions Cup and winning, brilliant for Glasgow. And they're one team who'll be thinking, okay, if we win our home games, we're definitely through. And, if that's going to be the case, then they're looking for higher positions for better draw rather than, just trying to get a couple of wins to be able to qualify. Sale, the opposite really. They've lost their opening home game. Now they know they've at least got to go away and win their home game as well, and then hope that that's going to be enough for them to qualify. The other Friday night game then was Bayonne 17, DHL Stormers 26. So another brilliant performance here. Stormers, top of the URC, and they've been so good so far this season. Go to Bayonne, who were unbeaten for a while at home, and Stormers took that away and also put themselves again in great position, I think, to qualify for the knockout stages. And the good thing is, again, they've done that away from home. So if they win their two home games, they're going to be pretty much certain of going through. On to start of the games then. So you have Saracens 47, ASM Clermont Auvergne 10. So disappointing from Clermont. Saracens maybe signaling that that they're going to be a bit of a force this year in the competition as well, because Clermont are one of those French teams that always take this competition seriously, and Saracens have been not up to the level that we've seen them obviously when they were winning titles in this competition, but you feel like there's a bit of progress there from them, and if they can produce this now in the group stages, then they could be well set for knockout stages. Next then, Vodacom Bulls 33, defending champions Union Bordeaux Begles 46. So if you watch the highlights of any game, I'd say watch the highlights of this game, especially that first 40 minutes. Absolutely crazy. Like both teams going back and forth. Bordeaux, with taking the lead three times in the whatever it was, the first 20 minutes or something, and the Bulls coming back at him every time. And then towards the end of the half, then the Bulls actually taking the lead 22. But then Bulls don't score a point in the second half, and Bordeaux just put on a masterclass as they pull away and show why they are the defending champions, because Loftus is a very difficult place to go and get any type of result. So to go there, get a bonus point win, yes, the Bulls got a try bonus point, but they denied them a losing bonus point as well. So, brilliant from Bordeaux there. And it means the Bulls, I think, is definitely one of those teams that are going to be scrambling to qualify. It means now, again, they got to win their other home game and win on the road, and then hope that that's going to be enough for them. Next, then we have La Rochelle 39, Leicester Tigers 20. So, La Rochelle not in the best of form in last season, second half of last season, and this season as well. But they produced here, and Leicester probably would have felt like they could have gone there and at least gotten something out of the game in terms of, a losing bonus pointer or something. But really wasn't to be for them. And, didn't get a try bonus point either, whereas La Rochelle win with a bonus point. So, decent start for La Rochelle. Again, they're going to be a little bit more comfortable in terms of their qualification because they have those 5 points from the first game. Leicester didn't have many points, but it was an away game, so they still have 3 more bites at the cherry from here. Next game then, Leinster Rugby 45, Harlequins 28. So Leinster stuttered a little bit, in the first half of that one, nip and tuck between them, and then they pull away in the second half. But right to death, they allow Quins in for a bonus point try. So Leinster not up to the levels we've seen them in the past in the pool stages, and a little bit of a wobble this year. Harlequins picked a much stronger team than normally we'd maybe see an English team sending over to Dublin for this tie, and they got rewarded for it as well, and I think they deserve that. But Leinster bonus point win. They'll won't be happy with the fact that they gave away a try bonus point at home, and I think also at times looked very clunky in their attack. So certainly stuff to be sorted out there. Ricky Ioane though did make his debut in this game. Could have got himself a try, but actually passed it to, I think it was Jimmy O'Brien that he gave the ball to score, but didn't take the try himself. But it won't be too long, I think, before we see him score his first Leinster try. But yeah, it's a strange one for Leinster because we're used to them being very dominant at home, and in the URC and in this competition now so far, we haven't really seen that from them. And again, same opposition last year in knockout stages, beat them 62-0. So, definitely a step down from last year. Next then we have Scarlets 16, Bristol Bears 17. So, Scarlets, a decent chance for them really at home in the first game to potentially take a win out of it, and didn't quite work out for them. They haven't been in great form in the URC, obviously bottom of the table there, and but they had the lead in this one, but Lewis Rees-Zammit got a try for Bristol with about 25 minutes to go, and it proved to be the winner for them. The boot of Sam Costello couldn't quite get Scarlets over the line. So Scarlets, I would say now at this stage, they have a losing bonus point from a home game, but it's hard to see, honestly, Scarlets going away from home and winning, and that's what they're going to have to do if they're going to qualify. So, can't really rule them out mathematically just yet, but it's going to be very difficult for them to get through. And then Bristol Bears being able to go away and get a win. Yes, it's not a 5-point win, but any win on the road in this competition is like gold dust. So they'll be absolutely delighted with that. Then on to the next game. Then Bat Rugby 40, Munster 14, and Munster, just the opening, whatever it was, I think 18 minutes of the game just got blown away by Bat. So give away a penalty try, and Tyke Byrne goes to the bin. Bat scored 2 more tries while he's in the bin to score a third on 18 minutes. They scored a 4th try of the game, because penalty try as well, on 18 minutes. So the bonus point wrapped up in the fourth quarter. Munster have a little bit of a revival, and then basically they score a couple of times. A Bat score again. Halftime is 35-14, and there was nearly we almost had a score of second half, except Bat got a try there at the end, where Munster were trying to get themselves back in the game, give themselves a chance, at getting at least a try bonus point, if not a losing bonus point. Couldn't do it though. Bat deserved winners. Munster, they such a poor start to the game, and they gave themselves so much to do. And again, they looked a little bit toothless in attack at times as well. So that's something have to be worked on. But Bath, well-deserved winners there, 40 points to 14. On to the Sunday games then. So you have POW 27, Northampton Saints 35. So Northampton, like, they really have been flying the flag for English teams as competition over the last couple of seasons. It looks like, on the evidence of this at least, going to be doing so again this year. So, POW actually, decent start for them. They got the first try of the game, and it was kind of back and forth in the 10 minutes before half time. Both teams scoring, same kind of in the opening few minutes of the second half, and then the last kind of 30 minutes or so, Northampton just kind of pulled away a little bit. They got try from Hendy with about 5 minutes to go. That proved to be the clincher in the game. So again, losing at home first up is very difficult to recover from in this competition. So POW, it is going to be tough for them. They have been flying high in the top 14 so far this year, but we're used to seeing them really in the Challenge Cup rather than the Champions Cup, and they may, depending on where they finish, what you're thinking, they might be scrapping out for a spot to drop down to that rather than to go to the knockout stages if this is going to be their level of performance. But Saints, again, another team with an away win first up, a bonus point away win as well, and looking pretty decent in their pool because of that. Okay, on to the next game then. It is Toulon versus Hollywoodbets Sharks. Sharks sent, certainly not their best team to the Stade Ernest Wallon, and they got really what they deserve. It's hard to say that as a URC fan and someone who really likes the South African teams as well. But yeah, not brilliant from them. They got 3 tries, so not even a try bonus point out of it. And then they conceded, I think, 7, or was it 8? Let me check. 8 tries, yeah. 8 tries for Toulouse, but Toulouse, they're not called the Kings of Europe for nothing. And it was said a weakened team against them. They're going to take advantage of it, and they're just going to keep going. They're going to keep piling on the score, and that's what they did. Final score, Toulouse 56, Sharks 19. Next then, you have Gloucester 34, Castres 14. So Gloucester, really good, second half from them, really, because it's 14-all at half time, and then they just pulled away in that second half and got their win, and got themselves a bonus point win there as well. So again, decent start for them, and as much as they could ask for. And when you're in that position, you win your first game with a bonus point. You're just thinking, okay, we win our other game and maybe pick up something on the road in one of our away games, then we pretty much guaranteed our qualification. Next, then we have the final game of the weekend, Edinburgh 33 and Toulon 20. So great start for Edinburgh, and I don't know when the last time both Scottish teams won in the Champions Cup was. We're not used to actually seeing both Scottish teams in the Champions Cup for starters, certainly not in recent years. So for both of them to win on the opening weekend is brilliant. And Edinburgh, the thing about them is we know they have the performances in them, but we also know that they can easily produce poor performances too. But it's a brilliant start for them, to do that. They didn't get to try, or did they? No, they did, because they got a penalty try. So they did get to try bonus point because they scored 3 tries and awarded a penalty try. So that's 4 tries for them. And they denied Toulon a bonus point as well. So, 5 points to 0 is basically the best you can do from, a game of this competition. So absolutely excellent from them, and, leaves them in good stead. So we're going to have a look now at the pools. So we start Pool 1. So Pool 1, you got Toulouse there at the top, leading the way just because of, the points difference against, well, it's not even the points difference, it's the fact that they scored 8 tries against the Sharks, because Saracens have the same points difference and they're in second place with 7 tries. And then Glasgow there in third place with 4 tries. But those 3 teams on 5 points. And then you have Sale with the losing bonus point that they got in their game against the Warriors. And then you have Sharks and Clermont with 0 points there down to the bottom there. So yeah, Clermont and Sharks, a lot to do, and when you look at it at the moment, it feels like it's one of 3 between those 2 and Sale, but we'll have the second round next week, and the picture can completely change after that. On to Pool 2 then. Yeah, Bath leading the way there. That destruction of Munster, putting them top of the table. Then you have Gloucester just behind them, at Edinburgh as well. All those teams on 5 match points. And then the bottom 3 teams, Toulon, Castres and Munster, down rock bottom of the group. No points for any of those teams. So at least for Munster, the only kind of consolation to have is that Toulon and Castres, didn't get any match points this week either. So at least there is a route there for them into the knockout stages. And again, it really will mean, next week, starting next week, at Parc y Cuivre, gonna have to get those home wins. Okay, on to Pool 3 then. Got La Rochelle on top, Leinster then, second there. And, just 2 points and point difference between those two. We're both on 5 match points. Stormers then are 4 match points, but, theirs was an away win. So, they'll be very happy with that. Quins then with that try bonus point that they got against Leinster in 4th. And then we have Bayonnais and Leicester at the bottom with no points each. So, looking at how things went, again, top 3 looking strong, and it could be 1 from 3 from the others. But, again, I think 2 games really does show us where the pools are kind of shaken up a little bit, because by then everybody should have had 1 home game. On to Pool 4 then, to Bordeaux sitting top there, 7 tries away to the Bulls on 5 points. Then Northampton next, also on 5 match points. Bristol after that win in Scarlets on 4 points. Then we have Scarlets and the Bulls both on 1 match point each from a home game, so not looking good for them. And Pau as well at bottom of the table there with no points. So again, the bit of a scramble, I think, for those teams at the bottom of that pool, and it's going to be interesting because you've got Scarlets and Bulls who both lost home games, but because of the way the table is now, I think Pau were at home as well, weren't they? Let me just double check that. Yeah, Pau were at home, I think. So it would mean then that the 3 bottom teams all lost home games. I'm just double checking. Yeah, Pau lost the Saints at home. So the fact that all 3 home teams in that pool lost, gives a bit of a G up to the others, because they're thinking, okay, well, we know one of us at least is going to qualify for the last 16. So therefore, losing first up at home may not be as bad as I may have been in, in other circumstances. Obviously, still gotta get that points tally up in terms of, they've probably got to win away at some stage. But, Pau are going to be playing both the Scarlets and the Bulls at some stage through this, through there, and you would feel that might be a little bit of a final for one of those teams in terms of actually qualifying. But even after one round, it is kind of interesting the way again you're seeing some big names at the bottom or towards the bottom of their pool, and it's a very short. This really is a sprint now, because there's only 3 games left, and if you've lost your first game, you're thinking we absolutely have to win our next one, or we're facing elimination pretty much straight away. Whereas if you won your first game, you're thinking win our second game and we're almost certainly through to the knockout stages. And that's the big difference it can make in terms of just that belief in the squad. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens after next week's games.